going on? It's your boy Take Back at it once again. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope everybody's doing all right. This is gonna be a good show. Yes, I am back. I am live once again. You can see. I want to thank everybody out there who checked in and everything. Last 2 weeks ago, I have not done it for 2 weeks. I apologize for that. I had basically appendicitis, so I was out for a while, but I'm back. And boy, trust me, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I can't because I missed my time anyway. But hey, whatever it is. So I want to, first of all, I want to thank all the people who are out there, because I am one of those people who have done this before. I have for people, yes, asking questions and stuff. Yes, I live in North Carolina, but I live in the middle part of North Carolina, so I'm far from the west part where a lot of the hurricane problems happen. But funny enough, normally me and my wife, for the last, well, since we've been, I've known her every year around this time, from early September to October, we always go to Asheville. And sadly, we didn't went this year because of that, and I'm kind of, kind of its own blessing in that regard. So I just wanna, for all the people who are really going through it all up in Asheville, I said we have donated, and we have also, and if it was from appendicitis, of course, I would have been up there with, because um the church that we go to basically gave stuff, and they wanted to go up there and help and give, a lot of stuff to people. And there are so many stories of that I could talk about, because I'm gonna say one of my, I say, at the end of my show, for anybody who don't know, I always say phrases because they're meant, because so people to understand. And also, it's something that my grandmother did put into me to, to say stuff, to know stuff. Because like I said, this thing right here is phrases. This is where T3 Records came from, my company. It's phrases that my grandmother, like I said, take here, and then three things that my grandma, I designed this, and my grandmother told me, hey, this, I mean, when she passed away this year, I did I want to thank my wife, my sister-in-law, for making a replica of this. So put it in the casket with my grandmother, because she's the one who gave me the idea for this. But it's one of the phrases I have, and I'm gonna tell people out there this. And I learned this because I am from the Caribbean. I've been through hurricanes multiple times. I have been without power for months. I've been without water for months. And I'm not talking about, yes, we had water, rainwater, cistern, stuff like that. Do what we could do from there. But we didn't have no running water. You had to take cold showers. Um, I was doing that kind of stuff. Okay. I was doing all that. I was doing those kind of situations back in when I was in the Caribbean. So it is tough. It is tough. And I'm gonna tell you this right here, and this is where one of my phrases comes from, and I'm gonna just put it out there for anybody out there to know. All right, like I said, my prayers, and respect, wishes, best wishes for people who have lost somebody, who got hurt, who have lost everything, and the federal government has been. I'm gonna tell you this right here. The federal government. I was gonna do a story about hurricanes and everything about that, talking about how what happened in Puerto Rico, how the federal government screwed, how the federal and local, and I've said this, we were in an election year, and the local government is very important more than the federal in most cases, in majority of cases. And please, I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for. I am telling you facts, truth. I always, as I said before, I always bring my receipts, because that's what I want to talk about. But I will say this to people out there, and what I'm saying is, Take care of yourself. Then take care of your family. Then take care of your neighbors. And that's how you make a good community. Okay? Where I live at, where I live at, I have white neighbors, black neighbors, interracial couples around me, dozen, black couples around me. Yeah, it's a mix in the neighborhood I live in. And like I said, if things ever happen, we take care as best as we can each other and look out for each other as we can. But before getting into the show proper, I'm trying to tell you this. You, no matter what, no matter what, you are your own. You only control yourself, and you only can do what God has given with your hands and feet. That's the only thing you can control. So, with that said, you are your own cook. You're your own. When it comes to disaster hits, you're your first. You're your own ambulance. Sometimes you're your own doctor. You're your own nurse. You're your own therapist. You're your own police. Because that part right there were parts with some parts of the state of North Carolina and in Florida where certain towns where the police then was banning the sales of guns, which is the Second Amendment right, which I am not for that you do that. Me and my wife are proud gun owners, and that's kind of crazy because when all the disaster happened, you know what happened? Crazy people come out, and looters, I should say, come out, come out and do stuff. Okay, and again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You come if you're not invited and you come on this property, blowy blowy is all you gonna hear from me. You gonna get one warning to get away, and that's what you gonna get. But you are your own policeman. You're your own repairman. You're your own mechanic. You're your own plumber. You're your own. Right? You are your own this. That's why you got to take care of yourself. Black men, black women, any man, take care of yourself. Because again, I want to tell you right now, I am a I am a I'm 6 feet tall at 185, which is people say some people get, but I do have type 2 diabetes, and I just say high blood pressure, but like I say, it's been manageable. In that, literally now, my numbers wasn't great last time I checked up, which was a couple weeks ago, a month ago maybe. So I am now going cold turkey. Have I cut out all sugars and carbs? No, but I have cut out a lot of sugar and carbs. I am not looking I don't do added sugar. I don't eat sweet stuff no more. I'm just lit, and anything carb is in thing. Like, I gotta take care of myself, for my wife and for my family. I gotta be there for them. That's my responsibility. Nobody else's but me. Okay? My wife could tell you, like I said, came from the Caribbean, had not been had a dime to myself, come up here to America, work my butt to become where I'm at, to be and to do the job that I'm doing, plus finding working hard myself, sweat, blood, and tears to create TT Records from the scratch. No capital from no bank, no capital from nobody. Working hard to create a company that could pay other people in doing stuff. That's me. Shout outs to James Kincaid. He's the other part that helped starting it, but he let me finish over and kept TT Records while he started Island Records. And that's me and him, brothers for life, my brother, brothers for life. But had nothing, started that. Bought my first home. the bank the bank like when I went to the bank to the lady and the lady to get my first mortgage in my life, she looked at my credit score because I learned quickly the first year in America I learned how the credit score system worked, and I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy, but sometimes it's crazy. You gotta play the game. I learned quickly, huh, how to build my credit up. Go to a bank, take a loan, pay it back quickly, or pay it back, 1, 2, 3 months and pay back quickly. Right now, there are apps to help you do that right now, but you do that quickly, right? When the lady come on, I remember that the bank lady was like, okay, you're gonna have this and this and this, and she looked at she's like, wow, I had a score over 800, and she's like, wait, you have that? She said yes, and not because I was black, no, because she said I know people who was born in America, and at my young age, at the time of 28, she was like, I know people at people who are older than you that don't have credit scores like this. My mom, God bless her, also installed me to be careful with my money and stuff like that. I worked, sold a house, got in that house, sold a house, and I'm here now in the house that I live in right now. The house that I've taken care of, that taking care of that. It's funny. Some people. It's funny. My wife could tell you the stories, but she's downstairs. Could tell you the story of certain things that I have gotten from a wife that I didn't take out a loan for or did nothing crazy, whatever. But because she's a black woman and again, I understand racism to a degree. It doesn't bother me and I don't care. I'd rather know that you're racist and just move along and don't bother with you don't bother me and I don't bother you than people try to hide it and try to stab me in the back. That's the worst kind of racism I hate. I don't want people who pretend and smile in front of you and then stab you in the back. Uh-uh. I hate that nonsense. Other people think of it like differently. Nope, I'm not one of those people. Okay, I'm not scared by race. The monster, you ain't gonna hold me to the monster, and tell me, oh no, that's not me, because I don't care. All right, but there's things where women was kind of looked at my wife and say certain things, and then my wife's like, yeah, my husband is this, and this, and this, and these mostly again, why I just said white leftist women, and like, oh, they're talking about Storm, thinking that they're achieving or whatever. But my wife is like, no, he's done this, and this, and she could tell you that. The reason I'm saying all this before we get into the show proper, because like I said, you're your own personal everything. Thanks to my aunt, I know to cook and bake. I cook, bake. My wife mostly doing most of the cooking now, but I used to cook and bake my own food. Everybody knows I make a mean cheesecake and do all kind of stuff. That's one. Two, I do it as much as I can. As much as I can. I'm my own mechanic. I change my own oil. I change my own brakes. I change my own. I did my wife's car. I change my own wife's transmission fluids. I do my own most of the stuff that I can, but I know I can do. Spark plugs, I could do that. I went to electrician. I went to I took electrician, not well, a shop class, but electric class in Charlotte Martin in my high school. So I know this majority of how electricity of stuff. I wired my house to be a smart house and to be protected so nobody could hack the daggone thing. I put in my own. I put my own fan in. I fixed my own AC. Shout out to Cleavon who helped me because he is a trained HVC person and he helped me in a way and then I like I said I fixed my AC when AC had been problem when somebody when a company kind of ripped me off and made my that last winter bill expensive, heating bill I should say. Yeah, I do that. I build my. You can't see the computer that you're seeing this right here. All stuff I built, not from, of course, not from scratch, but I built it. It's not. It was parts put together by me. I did a video. I'll maybe put a video about that too. But by me and my wife, because she was kind of interested. But I build my own stuff. I cut, even though I could have people to cut my own grass, I cut my own grass. I do it. My point is, I do everything myself because I have to. When my expensive fridge downstairs had got messed and it couldn't produce ice and got mixed up, my wife could tell you, and they didn't had no videos on how to fix this. But I did my stuff instead of paying hundreds of dollars. It basically was $50, and I fixed the fridge, my freezer, my ice maker out of it because again it was an expensive fridge. It was a KitchenAid, the top end KitchenAid, but I fixed it. That's why I'm telling you, a lot of you black men or men in general, young men. There's so many videos on YouTube on how to fix this, do this, do that first. If you can't do that, I understand. But we have a lot of men right now who don't understand how to change a tire, which is crazy. Don't understand how to, they're scared of a car battery. Can't change a car battery because ain't no way I'm paying $200. I've seen the prices. I ain't paying $200 to change your battery when I could change it for. I could buy the battery for $100 and do it myself. Nor will I, nor would I to get synthetic oil and pay $90. And I know because I have a Nissan and that's what it was. And I went to another dealership, another place, and did $90 to do synthetic oil change. Uh-uh. To change my oil or my wife's oil like I did today. Literally, I changed my wife's oil today. It was well because Amazon upcharged it, which is crazy, but whatever. It was $40 to change the stuff. If I get it from Walmart, it'll be like 35, but $35 to change my wife's oil. Done. I always drain my oil all the way out, so I know all the oil is. So I know I get fresh oil in there. And poor tip to everybody out, anybody who changed their oil, if they change the oil and want to do, put a little bit of oil in the oil filter, put in the filter, and put it back on, so they don't have, you don't want to be, you don't want. Since I drain my oil and let the oil drip out, instead of like how the shops they go in and just little drip. Now I let mine make sure that it's slow drip, so I know all the oil is out. Put it all in there so you don't have a dry start. There's many videos on YouTube again that shows that even in mechanical engineers that show that that's a better way to do your oil, so you don't have, so there's no pistons on, metal on metal, as best as you can. That helps starts the pump. I say all that to say you are your own. You are your own person. And if you're lucky to be married to somebody, like I said, I was out for a while because I had that appendicitis, which was a crazy pain that anybody could tell you is a horrible pain. But I am blessed that I had my lovely wife take care of me. She was my nurse. She was my doctor, and taking care of me, making sure everything is good. My point is again, where you are the only person who could take care of stuff. Stop depending on the daggone government. They're secondary to what you are. Oh yes, and tonight's gonna be a long show, so sit back, relax, because I got too much stuff to talk about. But yeah, they're secondary to what you are. Only you could do certain things like that. Again, when I had appendicitis at 2 o'clock in the morning, my wife was my ambulance to get to the hospital. That's my point. Stop depending on other people to do your stuff for you, man. You gotta do it for yourself. Learn to do stuff. One time, my wife looked at so many videos and try to cook different recipes. There are people you could cook, and again, it's way cheaper. It saves more money if you cook at home than you go to the restaurants. As you can see, restaurants is getting more and more expensive. So I'm telling y'all, just take care of yourself, take care of your family. Take the reason I say it in that way because if people are depending on me and I'm sick, then they can't depend on me. So I take care of myself first. It's not a selfish thing, it's a smart thing. Take care of yourself first, then take care of your family, then take care of your neighbors, and then you will have yourself a better community. All right? Okay. With that said and done, and pushed to the side, because again, I felt bad for all the people who went through Hurricane, Helene and stuff like that. It's crazy to see like a Wendy's that we didn't went to the Wendy's in Nashville, but we went there the first night and I forgot that they we went in there and they're like, well, we don't have fries. We were like, how you don't have fries, man? How you don't have fries? That's crazy. That should not be that situation. But to see the top of the water was that high at top of the Wendy's is like, wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, all right. So, tonight's show, black men, I say stand up. All right. If you want to vote for Kamala Harris, vote for Kamala Harris. If you want to vote for Trump, you vote for Trump. You want to vote for somebody else, vote for some Libertarian Party, you vote for the Libertarian Party. You vote who you want to vote. That's your choice. All right. But I tell you stand up because I don't like how these people condescend to us. All right. I don't like it. Don't insult my intelligence. Any of my friends could tell you the quickest way to make me just whatever don't listen to you is when you try to insult my intelligence. And when you do that, I have no respect for you. Like I said, respect's gone out the window. Now we're gonna talk about President Obama as he talked to black men like we're little boys. And again, I voted for President Obama in 2008. And I remember when my grandmother said we went to the inauguration, and she asked me, "Hey, are you going up there for Obama's inauguration?" I said, "He ain't Jesus, Grandma. Not in that cold. I ain't going up there for that. Nope. He's a man. He ain't no God. I'm happy to vote for him. To vote for him, and I did not vote for him because he was black. I voted because John McCain was a bad person. I did his policies were crappy, and he was a warmonger. So I went with the lesser of both evils. And let's be honest, most people are voting because they don't like the other candidate. So that's why I said if you want to vote libertarian, go libertarian. Doesn't matter. If John, if you want to go with right in um RFK, right? RFK. And oh yeah, let me point this out before I want to say this here before we get into this proper. I am not scared of no woman being no daggone president. That's insulting President Obama for you saying that. I'm going to say that so you understand that. I would vote. I had no problem voting for Tulsi Gabbard. Her policies were more lined up with what I, as a libertarian, would have wanted to be with. I disagree on her. I'm not gonna get a perfect candidate. I disagree on a lot of stuff, but the establishment did not want Tulsi Gabbard. They wanted Biden. Sure, they did that. President, I like how they always say, but oh, we trying to save our democracy, but Kamala Harris ain't got not one single vote because she dropped out in the 2020 campaign before anything. Not one vote she got. But whatever. I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard. I would have voted for Margaret Thatcher. I am not. Yeah, I am. I am. I vote for sensible, logical people who could see that their alignment goes with mine. Not voting for a woman just because I want to be the first woman president. I didn't, like I said, I didn't vote for Barack Obama because he's the first black president. That was the last thing on my mind. Again. I did not like John McCain's um, policies, and he was a warmonger, and I was like, nah. And of course, he passed away, and I was like, yeah. Before he passed away, he did some also awful stuff too. I respect him that he what he did, and he hurt his shoulders and everything. Yes, you did that, John McCain, that you did, fight for your and it was a POW, and I get that, and I respect you for that. But your later on stuff, no, I don't respect you for that part. Because everybody think that evil, like I've said at the end of my show all the time, evil comes in all shapes and occupation. Just because you're a military guy doesn't, and you're a military guy, you're an honorable person. There is such thing as an honorable and unhonorable discharge. Not all people who wear the American military uniform are upright, moral standing people. Some of them are just asswipes, and that goes around the world too. So I just want to stand that I am not, and again, and I've heard this many times in my year from my ex saying this nonsense, which used to irk me. There was two. I'll say it again. There was two. There was two women I was afraid of and intimidated of. My grandmother, God rest her soul, and my mother. No other woman in this planet has ever intimidated me. No other woman has intimidated me. I mean, because I remember, like I said, one of my ex girlfriends used to say, "Oh, you intimidated because I'm like, are you out your mind? How am I intimidated by you? I got the better job. I ain't got no debt. I got a house. You live in an apartment. I'm intimidated about what accomplishments that you have. Are you crazy?" So I'm not one of these people like that. No, like I said, I'm confident in myself. My wife could tell you that I'm confident in myself. I'm not cocky. I'm confident in myself because I will. If it's out of my control and I can't do it, I will say, "Hey, I'm not the best person in this. Try somebody else." Blah blah blah. But I will give it the old good old try to do something. So again, never have. So now let's get into the situation. All right, talking about as Kamala Harris want to help black men and all stuff. I'm gonna show the craziness of this too. But anyway, I want to go with Barack Obama first. It is crazy how this go. Hmm.
Trail, and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
What? What the fuck?
Oh yeah. Warning. Normally I try to keep my show friendly for kids, teenagers, not really kids, but teenagers and stuff like that. They're gonna be cursing. They're gonna be stuff not by me, but just letting you know that so you get the warning up. All right. Let's continue.
And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
Obama, cut it out. It's not about Kamala being a woman. It's more about her proven history, her track record of being an enemy to black men. And not just black men, but black women too, and black children. She has a proven track record in California of railroading black men. Not
Yep.
only that, she defiantly told black people that she wasn't going to do anything specifically for black people.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
While making sure she specifically looked out for her people, the Asian community.
So now you're thinking sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
Denigrating who? Me? Not that I've seen, but whatever.
No, we're not talking about history. When Kamala's history as an official in California is filled with thousands of cases of black men and even Hispanic men that she destroyed.
Yep.
Yes, in her official capacity as DA in San Francisco and in her official capacity as AG of California, she's the one who targeted these men. And again, not.
And I've done a video about this man, and this you see on the screen right now. He went to jail and was gonna do life because she wanted to prove something, but he didn't do nothing. He did not a thing wrong. He was innocent. And then I did another video where a black woman went to jail, and this woman, black woman went to jail, and she didn't do nothing wrong. She did everything by the books, but Kamala Harris made an example out of her because she wanted to prove a point. It's disgusting. It is enraging, and because of that, that woman's child is partially paralyzed because of what Kamala did. Disgusting.
Not just black men, but black women too. The nerve of
That's
these
the
people to
woman.
bring this stuff up.
That's the lady right there. And her daughter. Arrested her for taking care of her sickle cell daughter. Crazy.
And that like she wasn't the top cop. Yes, literally drawing down on black people's heads. That's what she did and even laughed about it.
Because how could I not? We cannot wake up.
We ain't doing your ads now, lady.
Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because
What?
that's what being a man is? Putting women down?
Wait. Sorry, I cut it off there.
Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down?
Putting what woman down? What are you talking about? Nobody's putting Kamala down except for, well, except for Mayor Brown, who was doing some stuff now. But nobody's putting Kamala down. And I mean like on that, the general. Not, I know that there's all people who put stuff.
That's not acceptable.
Whatever.
He's saying that black men, they're putting Kamala down. So holding this woman accountable for her record against black men, that's putting her down? Asking this woman for tangible benefits, specifically for black people, that's putting her down? Yeah, this is what Obama said talking to black men.
CNN political commentator Errol Lewis is in our fifth seat for this conversation. Errol, I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an
Yes, he knew. Yes, he knew.
unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed. In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency.
That's right. Although he is asking her, let's be clear, to go over a very high hurdle. Barack Obama got historic levels of black voter registration.
91%. 91%, 83% black men. 91% and 91% women. Or 89% women, but black women. I think that's what it was. Close, but I might be off a couple. Don't hold me that, but a couple percentage points. But yeah, the black man part I know. The women part I am off of that. But yeah.
And turnout and support, and he did it twice. It was almost inevitable that it
He did it twice with me, but whatever.
was going to swing more toward the long-term average of a handful of black
But
voters.
can I interrupt you for just a moment,
Republican
just to show you something here? Because we went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78. It's a big gap in this.
It's getting more and more down. But that's in Pennsylvania. That's not the country. So yeah.
state right now. And that can be closed because Biden is not Barack Obama.
Biden is not on, well, he was Obama's running mate. Certainly some spillover there. But you cannot ask of every black candidate in the post-Obama era, you've got to come up with 92% of the black vote every time. That is just not a reasonable assumption. If the margins are as tight as they're likely to be in this race, that's going to cause you problems in Pittsburgh and in Philadelphia and in Detroit and in Milwaukee and in Atlanta and in all of the swing states. And so they're going to have to come up with a strategy. Now, Barack Obama is trying one strategy, trying to sort of connect with some of the black male voters who they think have been drifting away and are likely to drift away
by talking down to them and misreading that nonsense
in these last 26 days. I'm not sure that's the right message.
I mean,
but they have to
it's,
try something.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, this is not a nice message. This is a very stern message.
Let me ask you a question, Abby and Nina. Let me say, I find it very interesting that we're trying to reach out to white men. We're trying to reach out to black men. The people whose rights are really on the ballot right now are women. And we're begging all these men.
What?
I always said it, and I'm going to say it a million times. Again, I'll say it again. White leftist women are the bane of a lot of things. Them chicks are the most, two black people are talking about a black-ish situation, about a black president, and here comes Becky with a crooked hair, come to talk about, it's not about this. This is why, hey, whatever. I'll let it be. But I'm telling y'all, man, this is gonna be a little rough. But let's continue.
And to pay attention to us and to care enough about this election, to vote, to come out, to support us. I feel like Barack going on the campaign trail right now makes perfect sense, of course, right? He's a top surrogate for Democrats. He should be out there doing the work right now. I think it's so amazing to me that with women's rights on the line, we're spending so much time focusing on making sure men care.
Are her parents brother and sister? Can you please leave now? Oh, now I get it. She's a moron.
What rights you talking about, you crazy chick? Oh, abortion. Oh, I give a rat's butt about abortion. You want to go kill your child, woman? Go right ahead. Do it. Go to a state that does it. All right? President Trump came out and said, point blank, multiple times, it's the state to choose. It's down to the local level. So if you want a state that you could go kill your baby, go do that. But it's kind of crazy. Like, oh, wait a minute. Well, how can you say that? We can't go. Well, go to California. California will pay for you to fly over to them to have your child aborted. Well, how can you say that? Women can't. If women could fly to other countries to get a BBL and then get a surgery to put fat in their butts that could kill them, a lot of them died in Turkey, in Dominican Republic, in Colombia, in all these places, and fly back to the States and all that stuff, which is a bad men do not, but real men, we do not like BBLs. They're horrible. You can die from that very easily if the fat goes into your vein and your arteries to plug up your heart. And two, it looks horrible. It literally looks horrible. It might be good for a little bit, but then afterward, it takes a while. Nicki Minaj's butt looks weird as hell now, but she has a husband, so she's just doing it for him. But another thing I would say this too, most guys would want to, it's a fun ride. After the ride is done, well, I don't want to go on that roller coaster again. I just want to see the spectacular of what it is, but I'm done. This right here is craziness that this woman's talking about. Well, men, this and this and this and this. White leftist women would always try to make it about themselves.
And listen to this dumb feminist. See, black women, this is what got the women before us in trouble in the first place. Listening to rebellious liberal white women like her talk about women's rights being on the ballot and then allowing that issue to trump everything else. Attempting to make that issue bigger than the economy, bigger than inflation, bigger than all these wars going on, driving us into a potential World War III, bigger than rebuilding the black family. Women like this one right here, they're sabotaging us, trying to make termination rights more important than all of that. And to this dumb powdered donut, the reason that they have President Obama going out to black men is because they have an issue with black men. The reason why they have Tim Walz trying to reach out to white men is because they have an issue with white men. They have an issue with men, period. White, black, Hispanic, Arab, the ones that are not leaning LGBT, they're not falling for this. And you're not going to win an election with only women, Nimrod. It's not just female voters out there, you have male voters too.
Because men, I don't know, it's because men are the problem right now for Kamala Harris.
Men are the problem. Hear that? I feel for a lot of these men who marry some of these women who, if they are married, because those men are the most bitterest, man, cocky. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I have my wife talking to me like that. My wife is a lovely person. But that's insulting right there. Men are the problem.
Allow yourself to slowly get, you're freaking crazy!
I mean, women... And by the way, Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a men tour, literally a tour of media to appeal to men.
So this episode has been sponsored by...
Good luck with that.
They need to appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And why, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy.
Don't care.
But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman?
It might be some
No, that is not started. Those kind of men are small, and most of those guys are pookies or ray-rays anyway. Those are ninjas. The guys I know around we don't give a crap about a woman. We don't. She's just a bad candidate. And for my reason is because her policies, as Pink Blue Lexus just talked about, her policies led to a friend of mine's husband and 2 kids to die because she didn't want to lock up an MS-13 gang member who was keep on terrorizing, beating up pregnant women, threatening old people. We should have been in jail. Now he's in jail for life for killing a black man and his 2 sons.
Listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is not just about...
And see, before she got cut off, Nina Turner was saying something about Kamala being positioned as a top cop before in the last election.
Yeah.
To lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think...
And going down that direction was going to force them to talk about Kamala's history of her prosecutorial targeting of black men in California.
Yep.
Instead, they went into these feminist talking points about misogyny and all this other stuff. No, black men want policies. Policies that will positively benefit them economically, that's going to help them financially. Not illegal immigrants that's going to bring down their wages or gender-changing surgeries. No, that's not important for men in general. Black men are also not interested in provoking wars. Why? Because at the end of the day, these feminists won't be on the front line to fight. See, those are the conversations they don't want to have. That's why instead they blame misogyny.
I don't think so.
It's not just about Pennsylvania. It's not just about men. It sounds like there's a concern that there's a broad problem for Vice President Harris with the blue wall. It's basically, according to the poll of polls, no clear leader, a tied race essentially in all three of these battleground states. You know, I don't know that this is because Trump has run a great campaign, but I mean,
I don't think it's that.
I wish I'll do this for shut up. Just shut up, Becky with the crooked hair. Shut up.
I mean, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, but he has struggled against Kamala Harris in this early stage, but he's still kept this race pretty tight and maybe has made some inroads in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, absolutely he has. Vice President Harris's high watermark was about a week and a half after the convention. It's slowly been trickling down. That Quinnipiac poll showing the vice president down in Michigan and Wisconsin sent alarm bells throughout every Democrat office in the country. But I want to say this, the blue wall is cracking, and black men are just one part of a broader puzzle that she hasn't been able to reach. Now, to her credit, she hasn't been running for very long. This campaign's new. This is a new experiment of replacing somebody late in the cycle. So, okay, we'll give her that. However, she's struggling with union voters. The two of the biggest unions ever didn't endorse her. She's struggling with Muslim Americans in Michigan, according to CARE Zone.
Because they don't care about the whole trans stuff. They just don't. That's why they ain't with that nonsense.
Numbers. She's struggling with Hispanics in California.
That is all true. She's all of that.
She's not expected to remake the Obama coalition. That's impossible. That's a 1 in a million, especially given the short time frame. But she has a lot of bigger problems, and that's why you see Tammy Baldwin panicking about being down more.
Here's Debbie Dingle. People need to see the real Kamala Harris. This is what she told.
Oh, I've seen the real Kamala Harris. And it ain't pretty.
Axios. They need to let her get in the union halls and just talk to people. Whatever you think about Trump, he's personable.
Well, I think that's one of the things. I mean, he obviously, from 2016 all the way through 2020, now through 2024, he comes off as a fighter. He comes off as a...
Well, literally when he got his air shut off, he did say fight, 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 you know?
Fighter for whatever issue matters to you. I think that's one of his big appeals. One of the challenges, I think, for the vice president's campaign is that I don't think Barack Obama is the right surrogate to go out there and do it. No, now, he's beloved by Democrats. He's beloved generally by Americans, but he's never had coattails. Aside from 2008, when he first got elected, Democrats lost more than 1,000 seats in state and federal offices during his 8 years. He was the sitting president when Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, with Barack Obama campaigning in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, and it didn't change the narrative. So I just don't know if he has the coattails. He'll fire up the base, but is he going to get anybody new to come out and vote?
You know, the other mistake that they're making is focusing too much on personality. I mean, Kamala Harris has got an appealing personality, and we're all getting to know her.
What? Appealing? I don't think so.
But this is the incumbent party.
And that's another problem. She's been in office for 4 years, and people can see for themselves the impact their administration has had on their wallets. It's very simple, and nobody cares about her phony personality. We want policies. Policies that's not going to put illegal immigrants before us. Tangible resources. But no, all we get is benign neglect and disrespect. And that's why she's losing right now. Let's go ahead and get the...
That is true. That is true. And it's a big number because right now she's at 41% with black men. not good. That's not really a good thing because a black man has been walking away from the Democratic plantation, and I'm happy for y'all. Here's the thing: I have no problem if y'all start a black party. Go with Cornel West. Cornel West is running for president. Do something. But this two-party system, I said this at the beginning of this whole year. This is gonna be a year of ripping off the band-aid. But this two-tier party system, Republican, Democrat, is suck. It really does suck. We need another party. We need another upper party to do it. A libertarian. I don't. Something that sticks out more. A libertarian, a freedomtarian, a Greenpeace, independent. We need another party to stick out there, and we need to so people don't have to keep on going. Because this oligarchy is basically crappy. So I want to talk about this. I want to go do this first, then we will go back into I want to share something about because Kamala Harris down the black man situation. We're gonna get down deep into a lot of these things right here. Okay? Some of this is crazy. So I want to talk about men voting for Kamala. Oh boy. Let's keep this train going, shall we? And again, before I go into that, yes, Barack Obama, if Michelle were here, what would Michelle do? Talk down to me like she's talking down to like you did? Bruh. I'm gonna tell you this right now, Mr. President. And I'm not gonna disrespect you, or nothing, but this is the truth right here. I wish you talked about more about families. I wish you talked about how you and Michelle in the marriage. I wish you talked about that more than the alphabet community crap. Not needed. I don't care about the trans crap. I don't need it. Again, if you want to be trans, you're 18 years old, do it on your own dime, and you I don't care. Leave the kids alone. When they get 18, they could drink, right? In most states, not all. They could drive. Well, once they get to 18, let the kids do that. But because, except for the B part, which makes no sense. Again, that whole letter alphabet soup is such an oxymoron. It makes no sense. But the LGT, they can't reproduce. So why? So with the situation is, what they gotta do? They gotta try to make you do this stuff. I'm not down with that. I'm just not. But again, if you're gay, you're lesbian, you're homosexual, I don't care. You live your life. You live in your house. You do what you want to do. My thing is, as a libertarian, I want a government out of a lot of things. Not everything, but a lot of things. So again, you want to have a union. You want to have to marry a man. Want to marry a man? Don't care. Woman, man, a woman? Don't care. You want to turn into you a man and you want to turn into a woman? I care about two things and two things only after you're 18 years old. One, stay out of women's sports. Kind of wear that same Becky with the long hair will say all that. Oh, stay out of it, but you will have no problem letting a trans man be in your a man trying to be in your sports and take care of and hurt women in his sports. Not only track and field, but go look at the one with the volleyball where they this guy, I forgot the name of the college, Stratton, whatever it is in California, and this guy spiking the ball and like really like damaging women's faces and all. Like, it's crazy. No. And then the women boxers who break people's their face and everything, the female faces. Y'all are punks in my opinion. But again, if you want to be a woman, all right, two things. Stay out of women's sports. One, because you're not a woman, you never be a woman. And that's why you have the word trans. It's funny because you transition to a woman, but you're not a woman. And two, if you're gonna intercourse with a man, you tell them before that happens. A lot of these men are getting killed by other men because y'all like to pretend and trick men. I do not stand for the man who killed trans women. That's a horrible thing, disgusting to kill somebody. But stop messing with people when they're at their most vulnerable. When I'm butt naked in front of somebody, mostly my wife, I'm vulnerable. And I do not want to see a thing down there. Okay? I don't. Sorry. Just not my thing. I want to see what God made, which was a vagina. Nothing else. Anyway, let's get into this.
I'm a man. I'm a man, man. And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's hair.
I even choked up a couple of times, and I'm all man.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
Bet you
That's
do.
what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women. I also would have said tits. They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Just because you like to jack off exclusively to tall, slender, big-breasted white women, that doesn't mean everyone else does.
What? I really have not watched this whole thing. What?
What?
Bro, not even bro. Okay, all right, whatever.
Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Okay.
Using sperm.
They've done it again, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they keep doing it. We have been blessed with the cringiest political ad ever made. We don't know who made it. Apparently it's not endorsed by the Kamala campaign, but someone made it, and they're getting worse and worse. I mean, a few weeks ago we had those ads by, like, White Dudes for Harris, where it was like, hey, I'm Joey, I'm from Philadelphia, I'm voting for Kamala. And then there was that Farmer Joe one, where it was like, yep, I'm voting for Kamala. And they kept flashing to, like, cops and army dudes, and dudes having barbecues, and family men, and truck drivers and farmers. And I came to this realization, right? It's almost as if they've got together in a big room and had a brainstorming session, and they've concluded that they need to attract the male vote. Now, how do you attract the male vote? They were like, we need to convince men that if they vote for Kamala, they're not fags. Rock solid, let's go get them. Now, before you go getting all like, oh, Bering's being homophobic, I don't mean fag as in fag. I mean fag as in fag. You know, like South Park fag.
You guys know that everyone thinks you're total fags, right?
Nothing against the gays. I like the gays. Yeah, about now would be a
Proof bourbon.
Neat. And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to...
Bruh. You are sitting...
Man enough to...
Look how you sitting on the truck. No man does that. No real man does that. I'll tell you that right now. Just saying. You're...
Cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Problem is, though, you will never get a daughter because you're not... How should I say this? You swing the other way. So I don't know how you will get a child unless you adopt.
About now would be a good time to pause and just note that according to this tweet by 8th Century Woodchipper, this fellow is a bisexual immigrant from Nigeria.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
He works as an actor in DC and has many intimate photos with the Obamas and the Bidens. Oh yeah, he's done several gay-for-pay porn movies and nude solo shoots.
Oh. I'm shocked by that one.
He does not have a daughter, and he's not braiding anyone's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Yeah, I don't really doubt that. I bet you have carburetors on toast with fucking bacon and sausages. Justin says if that fat fuck ate out of a garden more, he wouldn't be a fat fuck. Fake and gay. Good one.
But I got a question. You're looking at your age. Do you even know what a carburetor is? Unlike Tim Walz, who tried to say he's going to change a carburetor, which he never did in that video. I looked at it. He never did it, but whatever. And his filters was particularly clean. Bruh. Unless somebody did that, that was particularly clean. What filters did that? So you put in the filter before. It's just weird.
And Justin. Now, according to 8th Century Woodchipper's post, this fat guy is an actor who lives in LA. He does a lot of extra work and was a character in the low-budget superhero film Spaghetti Man. He also rents himself out as the before shot for dietary supplement marketing. I'm actually not sure if he does that. I just made that up. I'm yet to see proof that he doesn't do that, though.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women. Okay, that has...
Okay, ooh, wow, okay. I'm not afraid of women either. Like I said, I'm no woman other than 2 women I listened before ever intimidated me.
To be the gayest 6 seconds of this video. I ain't afraid of bears. That's what bear hugs are for. You know what I'm super duper totally not icked out by? Women. I mean, I feel like they're failing on their message here.
Just wanted to let you know, you're fucking fags.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
That guy apparently is Wayland McQueen, a not-so-successful far-left pro-Antifa comedian and actor. He's a bit of a Twitter activist. He likes to tweet about white privilege and how you need to acknowledge your white privilege. As of 2024, he's single, and he has no business sitting cross-legged like that on the tailgate of a truck transporting hay.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
to be childless cat ladies? Have all the cats you want.
Yeah, I don't
Exactly, nobody cares.
think anyone's afraid of childless cat ladies. Not voting for Kamala doesn't mean you're afraid of her. You might just think she'll do a shit job.
Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Yeah, I'll let that go.
Oh, come on. This has got to be satire, doesn't it? Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye, spit on my face, pull my hair, and accept my full-throated endorsement. They've never met an actual normal heterosexual man, have they? Well, I don't think they have, Andrew Kerr. Thanks for your comment.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
I mean, fucking hell, it's almost like they tried to do this.
What?
You're fucking fags.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of
Young woman from leading.
those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked.
Even I don't even raw dog. Hold on. I gotta use caption here. Let me see something. Let me see.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked.
I gotta learn what the hell that is. What the hell is raw dog or flight means? Sorry, I gotta search that up. Raw dog or flight means spending your journey just staring at the seat in front of you, or if you're lucky, an in-flight mat. No music, no films, no snack. What the? Are you serious? That's what that means? Ooh, you're such a man. What the heck? That's what I've done that multiple times. Not something to brag about, my G. I've done that maybe more than 20, 30 times in my life. What? Oh my good. I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. Okay. Let's continue.
Not worth it. Raw dogging it, sucking on flights. It's not just me, right? It's not just me who sees the innuendo. This man is an acting coach and a cartoon writer. He brags on his Instagram page about his participation in the White Dudes for Kamala ads. And yes, you might have guessed it, he is.
You're soy homosexual.
Now again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Cue Seinfeld clip.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
All I'm saying is you're being sold a lie. This man doesn't have a daughter. This man's not a farmer. This guy very likely doesn't ride horses. This man does not eat vegetables. And this man probably doesn't work on motorbikes. He's a failing actor too. I mean, it just kind of seems grotesque. Like, oh, here's all these salt-of-the-earth men. Normal voting men just like you. Putting the good message out there about Kamala. Trust us, fellow men, we do normal man stuff like you. It's bullshit. They're all lefty actor activist types.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse. Good joke. What does any of this have to do with voting for Kamala Harris? I mean, sure, it's good to be able to express your emotions to your immediate family members, as long as you're like not a complete pussy about it. No one likes a sniveling crybaby man who's just like in tears all the time. I cry at shit. I cry at funerals. I'm sure I've cried a little bit when I've stubbed my toe. I don't think many people are saying you cannot cry if you're a man. Just don't cry as much as a woman. My God, it's not hard. You're not meant to cry that much, and if you do, you've very likely got some deep-seated issues that you need to work on. And that's okay. Go work on them. Get better. But I can't see how any of this shit is convincing anyone to vote for Kamala Harris.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually, Good Will Hunting,
West Side Story, that and Predator.
and I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
Whoa, the party of use my pronouns gender is a social construct. He's talking about so-called men. You better watch yourself there, buddy. You might get cancelled.
That's not how my mama raised me.
Buddy, with all due respect, I don't think anybody should be taking lessons from your mama. And what I mean by this is you are very, 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 very fat. I don't think that's the kind of fat you just did yourself. I think you were a fatty growing up, and it's probably your mama's fault.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have family.
Again, you're right. I agree with you on that. I don't, because I don't care.
Women who take charge. And I'm man
Don't care.
enough to help them win.
That right there is insulting, but whatever. I come to find, like I said, none of these guys, all these guys are actors, and the most weirdest, cringiest people ever. That was rough. Anyway, let us continue, shall we? So, I want to point this out to you. Let me point this out to you again, because for people to understand why as weird as it is. Okay. So, Kamala Harris was right. She was the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, which did not, of course, it did not reduce inflation. Who would have saw that coming? I don't know. A white man white man says, Biden says, hey, if you don't vote for him, you ain't white. You ain't black, so I didn't vote for him. So this white man here was like, that's gonna cause inflation, because if you give money to anybody and don't pay, that's gonna cause inflation. Okay, let's take a good look at something right here. Yahoo News, and I'll say this full-throatedly and let people understand this. Okay, let me say this carefully so the people in the back room understand this. News media sucks. But unlike people, I don't watch Fox News just as the Fox News. I use CNN just a while ago. I watch CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. I use everything. If you want to, and again, I'm not benefiting from this. Go to Ground News. Ground News. You see, I've used the article. Ground News. It tells you your blind spots. That's what most it is. It tells you who's left, who's right. I know who's left and right already, but I want to know if they report on the news that I did not see or whatever. It's called blind spot on Ground News. Check it out for real. But again, a lot of people do not. They read the title and don't read the article, because sometimes the important parts is all the way to the end of the article, or they lie up front and it's all the way down to the bottom. So let me help you out with something. Yahoo News. Million Americans can now get a massive home remodeling rebate and 8,000 bank account for every American household. Okay. I woke up and I read that and I said, oh, that's interesting. Let's see what it is. Because again, I would love to have a battery for my solar panels so I don't have to depend on the grid if the grid ever goes down, and make things cheaper for me. Great news, homeowners looking to save money and help the planet. The Inflation Reduction Act is like a free savings account for home improvements. offering thousands in tax credits and rebates for eco-friendly upgrades. Okay. Passed in 2022, the IRA is the largest ever federal action to address atmospheric pollution.
No, son of a bitch!
By giving a lot of money to Ukraine and all this stuff and missiles. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. But whatever. Y'all can say what you want to say, but that's whatever. It's packed with a financial incentive for homeowners to go green and potentially save you over $8,000 on a home efficiency upgrades alone. You can save up to additional $14,000 through the Home Efficiency Appliance Rebate Program. These incentives make upgrading your house more accessible and more affordable than ever. Oh wow! You can get up to $1,600 back for improving your installation and slashing those monthly energy bills. Well, that is so good. Okay, yeah, I like that. I gotta read through all this because I want to point out the important part. Like I said, and this tells you this and money and all this stuff, and you could do this and wiring and blah 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 and savings and all this stuff and everything, right? Let me read you a very important thing right here. All right. This right here. In a press release, environmental journalist Ben McKinney praises the IRA for approach. In essence, the IRA creates $8,000 bank account for every American household. If they could figure out how to access it and use it. Because they did not make it easy for you to access it or use it. And I'm gonna help you out with something here. This last piece right here, he adds, which is crap. Good news in these technologies, the better than the ones that are replacing. Your magnetic induction countertop is better than the gas flame that you cook on. Cheaper, and it doesn't give your kids asthma. You know what happens when the power goes off? You can't cook food either. Ask the people in Asheville, Florida, Georgia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Caribbean. Because for some dumbass reason, my mom lives in St. Thomas. It's harder to find gas stove in a place that gets hit with that has almost a near 100% chance of getting hit by hurricanes. And that's one of the reasons I was talking about that I've been without water and power. If we had an electric stove, which my mom doesn't have an electric stove, thank God. But if we had an electric stove when we got hit with Hurricane Marilyn, we'd have been super screwed. We was getting water from the cistern that in the building we were living. We had no power for 3 months. So we didn't have no, couldn't store nothing, whatever. But we could have got food, but we couldn't cook food because we didn't have. I'm just sorry. We got food and we could cook food because we had. Thank God, we had a gas stove. I have an electric stove in my house right now. I'm not gonna say I don't, but that should be the people's choice. Funny how Tim Walz always say, "Oh, let the government be out of women's." How about you be Tim Walz, get out of the way. You talk about women. No, get out of the way. I want the government out of a lot of things. A lot of things. This is crap. Okay? Make no daggone sense. With this idiocracy. So let's go into okay. Let's go now to I want to that's out of the way. I want to talk about Kamala. So we went to it. I went to a page. So now she's pointing out a policy, events, opportunity gender for Black men. Again, that's not Trump's Project 2025. I've said it multiple times and it said it. His is 40 gender 47. This is this is not Trump. It's not endorsed by Trump. It's not semi-Trump. It's the Heritage Fund. And I read this thing, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I agree with the majority of this thing because yes, we need to get rid of a lot of government bloat. The government is the problem. Anyway, so it's kind of weird. Oh, opportunity gender for Black men. I read a majority of it. I'm not gonna do it for the show, of course, but I want to point out some stuff right here. Let's go. Opportunity for Black men. All right. Vice President Harris will deliver for Black men and their families. Okay. Let's use critical thinking because I'm going to show you something that's going on right now. A lot of kids right now, because of the school system is crappy, can't read, and they don't have critical thinking. Let's do some critical thinking here. Vice President Harris is laying out an agenda to give Black men the tools to build wealth and achieve financial freedom, lower the costs for themselves and their families. Again, get out of the way, then that'll help us. Cut taxes it'll be good for us too. Protect their rights, addressing the issues that Black men across the country have told her are their top concerns. Again, so let's go to the bullet points. Provide a 1 million
What?
How many Black men are in America? Let me see something here. Let me just Google that again. Again, critical thinking. This is how my brain works. According to the latest Census Bureau, they're about. That's not what I asked. Okay, 10 million Black men. Okay, 10 million, more than 10 million Black men. Let me double check. Okay, 10 million Black men. Okay. So you're gonna provide okay. You know what? Before I break it down, let's just read through it. Provide a 1 million forgivable loans up to 20,000 to Black men entrepreneurs and others who gave a good idea but do not have the resources, connections, and access to capital to get their business off the ground. Launch a national health equity initiative focused on Black men. Legalize marijuana at the federal level to break down just illegal barriers that hold Black men and other Americans back. Lower the cost by erecting a first ever federal ban on corporation price gouging for food and groceries. Lower the rent and provide down payment assistance to triple the number of first time home buyers. Let's go into this now. This is for Black men, right? Provide, let's get 10 million Black men. So we're gonna give a million forgivable loans up to $20,000.
What?
So that's up to $20,000 to start your job. Now I started TT Records without no money at all, so I would never get that. I would never have no money to back up on all the loans I have for TT Records. I have bought and for flying and insuring and everything, they paid off. TT Records have no, and I do mean no debt. I don't owe nobody no money. Anyway, for black entrepreneurs, so they're gonna give you, and again, if they're gonna forgive your loans, we see how they do. We already don't see how they did. One, it's unconstitutional, but two, to give unforgivable loans. But she knows that because whoever wrote this, like I said, I don't think it's Kamala, but her team wrote this. Here's the thing: two, black entrepreneurs and others. Who are these others? Women, men, white, Asian, black. Kind of weird that's lumped in with the black men. Again, I'm just saying, launch a national health equity initiative focusing on black men. Black men, I'm gonna tell you this: you don't need to launch nothing. Simple, right? Stay off the vape. Watch your sugar. Again, if you have type 1 diabetes, then other than that, be careful what you eat. But eat more home foods. Learn how to cook. Take care of yourself. Like I said, I gotta do the same thing too. I am no different, but I'm doing something, and I don't need no daggone government to tell me what the hell I need to do. Literally, if I have to be honest, the government told me I need to go on a drug, and I'm like, no. And they literally call me and try to talk to my wife and say, hey, he needs to go on this. And she's like, no, because no, that's my decision. And the answer is no. It's kind of weird that you try to talk to my wife about that, Doc. I'm kind of offended by that book BS, but whatever. But that's why I'm happy I have the wife I have right now. Legalize marijuana at a federal level to break down unjust illegal barriers that hold black men and other Americans back. Again, here we go with the other Americans. It ain't black men only, but whatever. I got a question. I got to say this. When Barack Obama was in the presidency, he didn't do it. He had the Senate and the Congress. Joe Biden had the Senate and the Congress as well too. He didn't do it either. A lot of the stuff that Kamala Harris promises, she could do it. She could have done it back in 2020, 2021, 2022. Well, not 2020. I'm sorry, 2021, 2022, 2023. She didn't do that. She didn't. Why you would do it now? Kind of made me feel like you're not. And the funny part about it, she locked up in California 1,900 black men for smoking weed.
What the fuck?
Oh, we're gonna make it against that, but you locked up men for that. Funny how that works, huh? Anyway, lower the cost of lower costs by erecting the first ever federal ban on corporation price gouging on food and gas groceries. Unconstitutional, and you can't do it. Just ain't gonna happen. So that's a myth altogether. Lower the rents, you ain't lowering the rents. Ain't happening. And provide down payment assistance for the first time black owners. Okay, again, kind of unconstitutional to do that, but whatever. And I know how that worked back in 2008. Didn't end up well. It didn't, because that caused inflation itself too. But they don't know nothing about that. So it's funny. Now she's literally going for only Kamala Harris for a black man. Donald Trump is a serious threat for black men. Really? Okay, you said so. But yeah, and still, that's the only thing she has with policies. Okay, let's get into this one right here, because this is crazy. So, oh yeah, I did ask my wife, and like I said, all this stuff right here that she has, and I am a bona fide black man, but again, according to Joe Biden, I'm not, doesn't affect me at all. Because again, the last two she can't do. It's kind of illegal. And then, well, no, that's illegal. This one will cause problems because she don't understand how inflation works. So, or whoever does this, they don't understand how inflation works. Again, I showed you the video of Biden's financial advisor. He don't understand how money's made.
What?
That's crazy. He's the financial advisor, and he has a degree in art, not in anything else, in art. Okay, so this stuff don't affect me. Legalize weed, blah blah blah. Like I said, like marijuana, like I don't care about that, and I'll be 100% honest with people. Yeah, I don't want to smoke marijuana. People want to say, "You guys want?" I don't want to. It's just like cigarettes. I don't care. Smoke is not good for your lungs. Point blank. Period. So I don't want that. Now, do I use marijuana? Yes, I have. I use Martha Stewart's CBD gummies to help with my blood pressure. Help to lower my blood pressure. Like I said, it now has been normalized. Yeah. So you don't have to smoke it. You can literally just do that. But whatever, doesn't bother me. Don't care. And it's not for me anyway. None of this stuff makes me feel like, oh yeah, I got to. All right. Let's go. We gotta talk about this though. We gotta talk about Kamala Harris went on Fox News. Now, 60 Minutes gave her first rough interview because she couldn't really answer stuff. And they edited that video. Now, in this video, sorry, Kamala Harris, she had 30 minutes and she showed up 17 minutes late. That's kind of a dick move. And then again, they had to rush her off. They had to cut him off so she can answer no more questions because it was bad because she can't answer questions. She always going to her spiel. I'm this and I'm that or that. I'll give you an example right now. Again, I'm not saying you gotta vote for the person. I'm not saying that I'm endorsing that person. But go check out the podcast with Patrick Davis, PBD, or if you want to call him, Valuetainment. Go check out the interview he did with Trump, and there's a part in Trump when he actually asked a question and Trump went to his spiel. Sometimes he does the same thing but he's a politician now. Most of the time he answers straight. Sometimes he doesn't. She never answers straight, so I'll give that. But Patrick Davis was like, Mr. President, sorry, but that's not the question I asked you. And Trump didn't try to talk over, PBD. He stopped and let PBD state the question again. That's not the question I asked you, Mr. President. This is why I asked you. So that's how it should have been. But just give an example. Really, go check it out yourself. Don't listen to my words. Go check it out yourself. Valuetainment, Patrick Davis. You can go see it, and it's on YouTube, and you can watch it in its entirety and see.
Last night, Bret Baier pressed Vice President Kamala Harris on everything from the border to the economy to Joe's mental fitness during her first formal sit-down interview with Fox News as vice president.
Yeah, for the first time ever, Kamala Harris sat down for an interview with Fox, which really showed how desperate she was now that she's not doing so well in the polls. We're talking about a woman who never interviewed with Fox before, not even when she ran for the Senate, not for her first run for president in 2019, or when Biden selected her as VP. She never showed up for a Fox interview. And almost 4 years into her position at the White House, she never went on Fox. When she was selected once again for this promotion, not elected to run as president, she refused to show up for the first debate on Fox. 3 networks had debates scheduled. Trump accepted all 3. Fox was supposed to be the first, but she refused to agree to those. Then after the first debate, she went begging for another when she declined 2 out of 3 already. But yeah, she's gone years ducking real questions, and all of a sudden, she ran to Fox when her internal polling said that she was losing everybody. Black people, Hispanic men, white white men, Muslims. So she ran desperately over to Fox after avoiding them for years, looking to take some of that Trump support away and also appeal to the independents.
And with less than 3 weeks
And the never Trumpers.
to the election day, the Democratic nominee trying to make the case that she offers a new way forward despite being in power the last 3.5 years.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have long records of working to protect reproductive freedoms.
Yeah, by putting tampons in the men's bathrooms. That's not that makes any sense.
If you're looking to sell your car,
if you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
Exactly.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Holy Jesus.
What?
You've been in office and Donald Trump is running for president for the last 8 years. What sense does that make? What sense does that make?
Come on.
If you missed the interview, I can tell you that was her answer almost every time. No matter the question, her answer was always Donald Trump. Now, that may work for her crowd of feminists and sassy men, but this won't move the needle for logical people, especially independent voters. They don't even know you because no one voted for you at the top of any ticket in the primary or general. You just got installed like a toilet by billionaires. And instead of using your time in the media to explain your case for you and how you will be different from Biden after 4 years with him in the White House, instead every single answer was always Trump, Trump, Trump. Listen, people are not trying to hear about Trump if they're watching your interview. They want to hear about you, your record, your positions, your plans. And I have to admit, this is one of the main reasons why Kamala is losing. She failed to do that over and over. She also failed to take any accountability whatsoever for the last 4 years.
Come on.
So it was a tense interview at times as Harris tried to dodge some questions and point the blame toward Donald Trump. Toward the end of the interview, though, Brett says it had to quickly be wrapped up after her team signaled to him to stop.
There are critics who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say.
Madam Vice President,
and
they're giving me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
And by the way, this is another reason why this lady is performing worse than Obama and Hillary. She's obviously so weak and fragile that she can't take real interview questions. She can only take softball questions from her friends and folks kissing her feet. For one, she showed up late. Then her team only gave them about 20 minutes before they started waving the white flag. And again, as I said in my previous commentary, Obama and Hillary always showed up for Fox. They did interviews, they showed up for town hall meetings and debates, but their curry queen is so delicate, she wouldn't do any of that for years. She had her nose up in the air for 3 months. And when she finally showed up after years of ducking Fox, she was rusty and obviously unprepared. That's really what this interview revealed. She just can't answer simple questions, and her team had to wave the white flag to get her out of the interview. She's too weak for an interview, but she's supposed to be strong with Russia, strong with China, strong with all these forces in the Middle East.
Exactly.
Really? How? Without bringing up Trump and her mama.
Okay. Prior to that moment, Harris faced several tough, direct questions like how her presidency would differ from the current Biden-Harris administration.
Well, that was
so,
fun.
You're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C.
True, you spent most of your career laying on your back in California. Yeah, to get cars.
Dang. Okay. All right. Go ahead, girl.
Laying on your back in California. Yeah, to get cars and positions from Willie Brown. And when you finally got up and was given power in California through those Willie Brown connections, You spent most of your career railroading black men and black women. It's almost like you tried to use black people to get your get back for what you had to do in those Hollywood political circles.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Decade. Obama, if you go a decade back, Obama was the president, but whatever.
And have Americans literally point fingers at each other.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
That is
tell
about
pollsters,
turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
Yes.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking
No, we
about.
don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen.
Yes. See, that's the part that killed me. You have the power. All the stuff you say you could do, why don't you do it?
Over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the
rhinos, the pieces of crap people, you're correct about that part. Those pieces of crap. This is why I'm not saying anything about Republicans, because they also done some crazy crap too.
The former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump.
Remember, Dick Cheney and his daughter. Evil Dick Cheney.
You piece of loser.
Dick Cheney endorsed her. That's something I'm against as well too. Again, my mostly stand because my friend's family died because of her, but that's mostly it. But yeah,
Former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous.
So when we had Brett Baier on yesterday to preview the big conversation with Kamala Harris, one of the things I noted is that what Brett Baier is really good when it comes down to the research. And we saw that yesterday because it was question after question based on her record and prior statements. And I got to be honest, she didn't meet the moment in the sense of having a response to those questions, but I think it was a better format for Kamala Harris versus some of the softball interviews that she's gotten. At least she rose to the occasion in the sense of wanting to fight back. And so if you're on the left, maybe you applaud her. But if you're someone that's been waiting for the big interview, then you thank Brett Baier for asking those tough questions.
I was glad he pressed her on, you've been the one that's been in office for 3.5 years.
Exactly.
And then it was almost that moment where she said, but I haven't been to Europe either. When she said, but Donald Trump was running. He said, but you're the one in office. You're the one that we're turning to for change. You want to turn the page, but this is what you've stood for. He said in 2019, when you ran for president, you wanted to allow immigrants to apply for driver's licenses, free tuition, free health care. Do you still support that? Kamala said that was 5 years ago. I will.
Yeah, and also she also stand for, again, you did a crime and you go to jail and you get money to become a transgender.
Motherfucker. That don't even make no goddamn sense.
Exactly. That made no sense. You did a crime and you get rewarded for doing a crime. How the hell that works?
Follow the laws. And then Brett said, but you chose Tim Walz as your running mate, and he signed all of this into state law. So do you support this? She hesitated, and she said, we are clear. We will support federal law.
And that answer right there showed me that she still believed in providing all those handouts for immigrants. So as a lawyer, instead of answering yes or no, if she still agreed with that, her answer was, we will follow the law. Okay, so if they can legally write up all of those orders to bring immigrants over on airplanes and bring 30,000 of them and dump them into a small community or dump them in the black communities in Chicago, they hand out free housing vouchers and free money to them that they didn't earn. They're not even citizens. If they could make it legal, then it's going to happen. And if you look back, they wrote up these little documents over the last 4 years, and that's how they've been bringing all these folks in here.
Right. And, you know,
which means nothing.
Right.
Yesterday when Brett was on with us, as you alluded to, Lawrence,
Change the law.
We talked a little bit about how she is a known filibusterer.
Yes.
And we saw it.
And as soon as he asked the first question, and she went into an answer that we've heard a million times, it was like she was reading a teleprompter. About 20 seconds in, he tried to refocus her on the actual question. And it was back and forth the whole time. I'll tell you this. If you and your family set this up as a drinking game before it started, and you said, okay, every time she says Donald Trump, I'm going to take a shot, you would have been so
Smashed.
Yeah,
Smashed.
That's a good word. I would say 10 minutes in, because she, every time the going got tough, she went to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I want to, so I'm going to jump to another one, which should be more quicker. And you're going to, because I want to give you a little more substance than that. So let's go with this.
Kamala Harris, for some reason, agreed to do an interview on Fox News where she immediately melted down.
They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track.
And this is not Fox poll. This is Marquis Law School. So it's not a Fox poll.
That track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president.
Yeah.
If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But
He literally asked her, why had the last 3.5 years under her vice presidency have things been so terrible? And her only answers are, well, Donald Trump is running for president, and then starts carambling about the last decade. The only thing American voters are concerned about is how a President Kamala could fix the issues that a Vice President Kamala caused. As when she's asked about Biden's decline, she ignores the question, but brings up Trump.
You say he's mentally
Which is crazy.
not stable?
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
We cannot wake up. Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people. Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump is. Donald Trump's the Trump campaign. Donald Trump.
Joe Biden is, again, you're just as much as his wife. Elder abuse.
Donald Trump.
People aren't concerned with the guy that constantly does several hour-long hostile interviews and press conferences, gets shot on stage and returns to the same place to say,
As I was saying...
They're concerned why she would constantly lie to the American people about Biden's brain ability, especially when obviously he could no longer lead the country. And her response was once again, orange man bad. Now it's one thing to talk to a Fox News journalist like this, but Kamala needs to answer the American people over her own administration's awful actions.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about that.
She legitimately cannot go 5 seconds without suggesting that this is somehow Trump's fault, as her apology means absolutely nothing to the families, because if Harris can't address how she specifically made that murder possible, she can never fix
Not only her murder, but my friend's murder. A black man and two black kids. Well, mixed kids because Hispanic and black, but yeah.
that issue, as she's too busy blaming Trump, a private citizen that up until this year couldn't even make a Facebook account, but somehow was stopping her administration from securing the border that they repeatedly bragged about how secure it was. And even when she is complaining about Trump, it's oftentimes what I call boogeymanisms. Project 2025, Trump has nothing to do with that. Starting World War III, Trump was the only president to start no new wars, or weaponizing the justice system, when that's exactly what the Democrats are currently doing. And when these facts are shoved right in her smug face, she just wants you to ignore your own eyes and ears.
Suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
Oh, so you mean that one when Biden was, he had the White House and the Reds saying that y'all can't do nothing because we got planes and bombs? We're going to take y'all out? Funny. People forget that one, don't they?
Asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not
You asked a specific question, you lunatic.
what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you.
That was the question that we asked him.
He didn't show that. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is...
You were locking people up because we didn't want to put on a daggone mask. Because we didn't agree with you. A mask, lady.
A democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
You're throwing a brick at a glass house, Kamala, because you've done that.
The future and America. Now, I may have lost my train of thought several minutes ago, but if I continue to talk like this, no one will notice it.
Kamala's basically campaigning on, don't listen to what Trump says or does, only listen to what Kamala says about Trump. Because this might fly in a speech in front of all her bustin' supporters, but it's hard to believe her lies when they're right beside the truth. And Kamala suggesting Trump will turn the military against American citizens is just more projection. As less than a month ago, right as they started to plummet in the presidential polls, her administration just gave the military the ability to use lethal force against us. So only 26 minutes.
Like I said, bring them receipts.
It's into this interview, Kamala's goon said stop.
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good to meet you.
You know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like, it's got to stop.
Stop! He's already dead.
Exactly. That's what it was. He's already dead.
Which is sad, as they cut short an already cut short interview.
Originally, we were going to do 25 or 30 minutes. They came in and said, well, maybe 20. So it was already getting whittled down. And then the vice president showed up about 5:15. We were pushing the envelope to be able to turn it around for the top of the 6 o'clock.
In her first big boy interview, Kamala's team actually had to throw in the towel, as this wasn't a basketball podcast, a rap radio show, or the many sex podcasts that she's done. This was on Fox News, who I've long accused of being the true controlled opposition. And even then, she just exposed how incapable she is of being a leader, as this was just Bret Baier. What happens if this was our allies angry over our lies? Will she still bring up Trump then? Or what about our enemies threatening us with nukes? Because I don't think her middle-class background can stop World War III. And the betting markets show this, as Trump currently has an 18-point lead to win the election, as Harris's chances continue to plummet. So after the hostile takeover of Biden's campaign, she received an initial boost when most Americans never heard her speak. It was based on just pure media propaganda. But when she refused to speak, her polls got worse. And now whenever she does speak, her polls get even worse. But I caution everybody seeing these polling maps, thinking Trump, and more importantly, our economy, has it in the bag. Always act like he's 20 points behind.
20 points down. Yeah.
As you never know what pipes might burst in the most inconvenient battleground states. So make sure you're registered.
Exactly. And I get you with that. So, I want to get into something here. Okay? So, we already done took care of that. I'm not going to talk about that. We already done took care of this. Okay, so this is why I said you're gonna hear some cursing. You already heard some cursing already, and there's gonna be some more cursing. I just want to let people be true to what they are. So you saw what Obama came, and you saw what Kamala Harris promised to black men, that all those things which I showed, and I'm like, that's not gonna change nothing, but whatever. All right. Let's listen to somebody who think that's what it is. And the thing about it is, I'll say this again. Y'all think, y'all Jezebels think that y'all could just take over people and make them do certain things. But listen to this.
The best proposal I've ever heard.
I wanna get up to
The best proposal I've ever heard in my motherfucking. Kamala gave you niggas the best proposal I've ever heard in my motherfucking life. And when I mean niggas, I literally mean black men, African American men. Like, I'm kind of jealous. Not even gonna hold you, cause if she would have did that for black women, I would have went on ahead and start putting out my notes and lists exactly what the fuck I was going to have, how I was going to apply. Every fucking start date when that shit would have dropped, just so I can be first in line to apply to every single loan, every single down payment that she put out for a motherfucker. You niggas.
And that's why they trap your asses into a house. That, like I said, the housing crash is because you couldn't afford a house to do stuff. But again, what am I? Because y'all don't understand that. This is not all black women, but these are a particular type of women. Because again, the way she's saying ninjas, like, this is a woman that would never get married and would be a headache. And would be like Proverbs 30, but it says, I'd rather be in a corner of my house than to be with a vindictive woman. Paraphrasing, but this is one of them.
Saw what she said, spat in her face and said, bitch, fuck you. We don't want that shit. We just want you to get rid of child support. That's literally. I just cannot believe. And this is why I fucking say I am tired. I am tired of black women, actual smart, intelligent, strong, independent black women.
Which you are not.
Falling to their knees to make things more comfortable and more suitable for the most ignorant, bow-legged, not-needed motherfuckers in our community. Stop.
Which you are.
Appeasing to these niggas. Everything that is coming out their motherfucking mouth should have soap dumped down their throat, because
I think the way you talk, you need soap down your throat.
Nothing makes fucking possible sense when it comes out of an ignorant black man's mouth. These niggas don't give a fuck what Kamala do. These niggas don't give a fuck what she come out and say, because they hate black women. They hate the fact that a black woman skipped them to get where the fuck she at.
Yeah, because she slept her way to the top.
They hate it. They hate it. They hate it. They hate. Knowing for a fact that black women are behind a lot of things that basically benefits the black man. They hate it. But yet, they refuse to get off their fucking ass and educate themselves, because no fucking way that you think for a fucking second that a black woman is going to literally strip away child support. Something that holds your motherfucking ass responsible for laying down, doing the deed, and creating said child. And you want ass in that child's life.
Before the lady talks, I want to play another video. And let me say this to this lovely, lovely, lovely woman right here that's on the screen. Ma'am, they didn't ask for taking away child support. Now, the baby daddies who are deadbeats and all this stuff like y'all say, maybe they did. What they asked for is paternity tests should be allowed. And if you do false paternity tests, you should be in jail because that's perjury. Perjury is an offense. It is a crime. And let me help you with that. Since you say, oh, that's the only thing I hope. Yeah, like all women are telling the truth. Let's look at this lovely young lady here. What did she say? Oh, women use fake paternity tests to dupe men.
My baby. I faked a pregnancy.
This young woman named Danielle says her boyfriend was breaking up with her, so she used to save the relationship by convincing her boyfriend that she was pregnant.
Holy cow, really? Yes.
The baby even sells ultrasound videos, positive pregnancy tests, and doctored hospital records.
There was a document.
A document from a local hospital stating she was pregnant.
These sonograms and paperwork all say for entertainment purposes only. But Danielle showed us how easy it was to cut off the label before she showed them to her boyfriend, Mark.
You knew in your heart this was wrong. But I didn't want to listen.
This guy says he fell for it too.
I was very convinced that she was pregnant.
Eric Neville of State College, Pennsylvania, says his girlfriend used a sonogram and documents like this to con him into proposing. He says he spent thousands of dollars leasing a new house big enough for the three of them.
She played me like a fiddle.
But her lie finally came crashing down when Eric says he discovered an email from baby.com on his girlfriend's computer.
Now that's what.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that?
So, crazy lady. Ninja. What about the guys? What about the women who guys went to jail when women lied that was not their baby, that was not their child? If I wanted to, I could play that clip too. Where this man went to jail for 5 years and come to find out that child was not his child. Or another guy when the wife, ex-wife, took her ex-husband to paternity court so she said that he's the whatever, come take out the not paternity court, to child support court. Come to find out, oh wait a minute, the child is not his. Who would have thought of that? Oh my God, can you believe it? How can that be?
Nani?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Miss me with the stupidity and the ignorance, as you said. All right? We want child. What we want is basically, again, 30% of men who get tested, are not the fathers. So if all men get tested, I bet you a lot of you women ain't gonna fake up a lot of stuff. I guarantee you. But I let another woman speak. Since I'm a black man, I don't want to speak down on a black woman.
Child, you ninjas, you crusty, dusty, musty, rusty, ashy ass bums. Here we have another person who wants to let y'all know what they think. They want y'all to do something, but then they want to insult y'all because of what it is that you're looking for. How about somebody ask you what it is that you want? Not that anybody asked you, because Cam didn't ask anyone anything. She just tossed it out there. Imagine being this person talking about being ignorant as she is, thinking that she knows something. But in the land of TikTok, anyone that says anything against men, they all love it over there. This is definitely a liberal site that was supposed to be for the kids. But all these biatches took over because, they got a word vomit all the day and half the damn night. This lady says that you ninjas ain't ish. You don't take care of responsibilities. Help me understand who again is at the top of the eviction list. Bueller.
Thank you.
Help me understand who's at the top of the student loan debt list.
Women.
Bueller. Always running off at the mouth about what somebody else is doing, but never can be able to look in the mirror to see what they doing to F up their own lives, and always want to blame effing white supremacy, discrimination, and racism. And I'm thoroughly prepared for all the hoes, and yes, I said hoes, that's going to come through and try to think that I give a damn about what you think about because I don't agree. And yes, I'm black. Shout out to YouTube. I'm a black woman. I know somebody that's over here trying to, of course, get views because this video, of course, is like over 100,000 views because this is the type of
kind of stuff that people would like to put up for crap.
Because women think that they run things, especially black women. It's amazing that you still are running off at the mouth in 2024 going into 2025. But you can't tell nobody nothing that don't want to listen. It's always, I'm going to tell you. Ain't never going to tell themselves and ain't never going to do anything to change your own circumstance and situation, but blame someone else. Now, help me understand why the hell it is that you continue to have the highest rate of single baby mama-ism and the highest rate of poverty, but then you want to talk about these ninjas. Oh, yeah, the ninjas that you deal with, they can't possibly want anything on their own. They couldn't possibly want to stop being held up for child support all the time and going back whenever you see things go right, or when you see them move on with the real woman that they care for, the real woman that they love because you wasn't ish, because you act like this. They just wanted a place to put it in for a warm night. And then you mad, even though it was probably obvious, or he's crusty, dusty, rusty, musty, like real crusty, dusty, musty, rusty, ashy ass bum. Don Quavius, Darkest, DeMarcus, Pookna, Quantavious. Shout out to Quan down there in Fulton County. Because those are the ninjas that you love, which is why you out here talking about ninja this and ninja that, because that's your preference. She did say my favorite phrase, pretty hair and bow legs. Child, I be knowing, y'all. Don't question me about crap like this when it comes to the biatches, because I know about the biatches because I'm a biatch too, all right? Biatches don't give a damn about you ninjas, and y'all already know that. They want to skip over that part. I'm trying to understand, if men ain't ish and y'all over here carrying on about them, how come y'all keep getting pregnant? How come it is that y'all keep popping out babies that daggone whether you can't afford, that daggone well Darkest nor DeMarcus was going daggone take care of, or he was out in the street, so now his ass is in jail, can't take care of your ass, and that it ain't gonna change no time soon. And it's not even at the end of the day really just black women, it's women in particular, especially if they spend most of their time over here on TikTok. And like I said before, I know these people ain't making no plans for when TikTok goes away, and we will be here to show all of them crying, jumping off daggone curb because they ain't got no way to get in touch with each other any daggone more. But these comments are very telling. Let me go ahead and let you know. First woman says, black women want college debt forgiveness and black men want child support forgiveness. Of course you want forgiveness of money. It's okay for you to want forgiveness of money, but it's not okay for the man to want forgiveness of money. Tell me what the difference is there. Y'all are still taking out these daggone loans that daggone well that you can't afford, that daggone well that the thing that you're going to school for ain't going to substantiate being able to pay for it. And then you want to whine and complain and say that it's white supremacy, discrimination, and racism, when what it is that you have no financial knowledge whatsoever, and you continue to put yourself behind a damn 8-ball and turn around to say that it's white people that did it to you. No, it's you that do it to you as you continue to do it to you, because we already know that the 90s are so old school, and people like her who don't look too young, but I'm going to go ahead and give her a pass on this video, says and thinks that they know everything, and as much as they continue to talk, they show and prove that they don't, especially when it comes to finance. That comment right there says it.
That is true. And with that said, I want to talk to the black men of this situation, because I want to respond to this and say this.
Y'all thought it was bad with Magic? It gets even worse, because over there on Tickety Talk, they over here talkity ticking. And we're going to go ahead and watch this man and what he said in the video that was reposted by DL Hughley, that was reposted by this black woman over here on the talk. And we about to get into it.
Described, Barack Obama has ignited a firestorm of debate about black men and manhood.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
Part of the confusion may be that critics thought he was shaming the black men in the room, but actually he was describing an issue he's seeing among other men in the community.
I can't believe it.
What? What are you talking about, man?
more that this mess goes on and on and on, that somebody will come out here and try to basically say that what you saw and what you heard is not what you actually saw and what you heard. What,
Exactly.
nigga, why do you think that we need you to tell us that he was talking about people outside of that room? Nigga, we don't give a damn about none of them people in that room because we already know where they stand. No one thought that. So it's coming out here trying to act like we stupid when you're actually trying to gaslight people. You can take that mess where? Back there. We are not dumb. I'm not even talking from the perspective of a black man, but I'm insulted the fact that you just said that, like we aren't smart enough. Y'all see your own people that want you to care about them, and they allegedly care about you, but they out here basically saying how stupid you are because we need this nigga to tell us what the hell Obama meant because we aren't smart enough to figure it out for ourselves.
That's what being a man is. But women now, that's not exciting.
Some felt he was scolding black men.
Yes.
I have a different take with two key points. First, black men are a success story for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party.
Huh?
After all the gaslighting from Republicans about black men leaving the party 4 years ago, Joe Biden won 87% of the vote from black men in 2020.
73.
That makes us the second most loyal constituency to the Democratic Party.
Loyalty. Ugh. Like, I am not loyal to the Democrats, no Republicans, no Libertarian, which I'm a Libertarian. I'm part of the Libertarian Party. Loyalty to a party? Are you out your flipping mind?
Only black women who voted 95% for Biden are more supportive. A Washington Post Ipsos poll last month found black men overwhelmingly support Harris over Trump on every issue, including abortion, crime, the economy, and immigration. And a CNN poll...
Oh, you rushed that one now. The issue was, the one that they didn't care about was abortion. They never even cared about it. I was down to the bottom. Economics and everything else, though? Nope. No, they did not. No, they did not.
Last month found very little gender divide among black voters. That means Kamala Harris will probably win 85 to 90% of black men. That's good news.
So in other words, no one is trying to capture your vote, black men. You're just out here whining and complaining, and you'll come back and you'll do what you're told to do because this man said it and black women said it and Obama told you to, and you don't know what you're talking about right now, but you can be out here running off at the mouth all you want to. We know that you're going to come back because you did it for Joe, you did it for Obama, and you're going to do it for Cam because you're not allowed to go anywhere. You have to do what you're supposed to do as a man, as a black man, because you can't think for yourself. You can't go where you want to. You need to be here. You need to do what women say. Because if you don't, that means you're MSG. That means you have a problem with women. That means that there's something wrong with you. That means that you're a simp. Remember? That's what they said over there on Twitter.
News. And black men should be celebrated for that. Personally, I don't understand how any black man could vote for Donald Trump after he led a lynch mob against the exonerated Central Park Five.
He didn't let him lynch mob. He was wrong in what he said. I give him that. But he didn't let no lynch mob. He said if anybody did something that horrible, they should not be that. He didn't say legislation of all five. If you read the article, go to the New York Times and read what he said. He just said, which again, he didn't know what was going on. And I'm not giving an excuse, but he did not let lynch mob. He just said if somebody did that to a woman, they should be killed. That's what he said.
Lied about Obama's birth certificate. Blackball.
So did Hillary. Go back to 2008, my boy, and see what Hillary said about President Obama.
Colin Kaepernick.
Because she did that for sure.
And bragged about bringing back racist policing tactics like stop and frisk.
Well, he is deceptive, and his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness and his commitment for the success is beyond argument. He gave us space at 40 Wall Street. Beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And credit for many people are comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to rest to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person.
But I also know that unanimity of opinion is unattainable. No candidate or party is ever going to get 100% of black people to support them. But 87% is pretty damn good. That's why I said before that we can't pathologize black men for our voting patterns when other groups, mainly white women, are the real problem.
Yeah.
You know what? As we saw at the beginning of the video, I can't argue with you on that one, my boy. You said something there. White leftist women, oh, they had that job.
That's white women. Y'all are the problem too, because whenever color's got a problem, they got to make sure that they lash out at everyone else and anyone else and never take any accountability or see anything that they do wrong. It's your fault. It's black men's fault. Everything is everybody else's fault. And of course, we're dumb on top of it. I tell you, I can't see why black people are not together, child.
That brings me to my second point. I don't think Obama was scolding or pathologizing black men. Instead, he was having an internal conversation with black men to get us to examine some of the reasons that some of us don't support Kamala Harris.
You can come out here with all this gaslighting that you want to, cowboy man. The point is that nobody is down for Cam. Y'all can try to shove her down anybody's throat that you want to. No one is falling for it. Nobody asked for her. Nobody wants her. And now the election is getting tanked and she is losing. So now you want to try to come out here talking about we want to try to tell you your reasons why. Don't no grown person need you to tell anybody anything. You're being just as offensive as Obama was offensive to everyone, but specifically black men. Y'all out here playing us like we stupid. Y'all act like we can't make our own decisions. I don't know how it is that we all got through life and where we all are because we didn't have this man nor Obama telling us how we should feel, how we should do it, and where we should go and how long we should be there. This is just as insulting, if not more insulting, than Obama opening his black ass mouth and this cowboy looking at MFR to open up his daggone mouth and think that he telling somebody something. Sir, you're just as buffoonish as anyone else that's out here trying to tell adults what the hell they need to do.
That's why the black men Obama was speaking to in the room seemed to agree with him. Obama made a point that a small but vocal contingent of men, including black men, refused to support any woman candidate for president. Many of them have unrealistically high expectations for Kamala Harris.
Not really. If Kamala wanted my vote, which again, take away that because of her decisions, my friend's husband and sons get killed. But take away that, close the border. You want government to be out of women's lives? How about the government out of everybody's lives? Tim wants Kamala. I don't want you. I don't want you. Shut down the Department of Education. Shut down all the redundant departments in the government. All right? We don't need them. Stop giving money to Ukraine and Israel and Lebanon, which you did the same week that the hurricane happened. You were giving people $750 true, and some of them couldn't even get that. Some even got less than that in Hurricane Helene and whatever. And of course, Hawaii. Don't forget Hawaii. They had a whole fire. They never got no help from the from FEMA, which is bullcrap. And of course, the female president, which is a woman, was, you know what? Why not? Why the hell not? Let me just show that just before let me see. Just for that. I gotta see. Let's just see. Cause you got local Milton and all the other stuff you could do, Florida, North Carolina, damage and all that stuff there. Priorities: disaster response recovery, equity, climate resilience, readiness. Well, you ain't readiness at all. Here again, migration grants. Why my money is going to migration grants? That is, I got a problem with that part right there. To illegals. That then I went to that. That went to illegals. Okay, we didn't get all this stuff, but I want to. It was Mayorkas is the name of the guy. Mayorkas said, We don't have enough money to go through the hurricane season. That's before Milton hits. Where does the money go? Where did the money go? Oh yeah, America said that he spent the $1.4 billion on illegal immigrants. FEMA's supposed to be spending on natural disaster. Federal emergency management. That's what you're supposed to spend it on. Not illegals at all. Anyway, I digress.
But don't hold Trump to the same standard.
The reality
What are you talking about?
also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Well, we saw that because at the beginning of the show, I put up your video, I put up your campaign, and everything that, anything that has to do with money, it says black men and others.
You serious?
Because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country.
One black man in Pennsylvania told reporters he plans to vote for Trump because Harris doesn't come from a background similar to the majority of black Americans.
He's true. Again, another point I really don't care, but he's correct.
That makes no sense. Does he think a white man who spent his career refusing to rent to black people and spreading racist lies about us understands the black experience better than a black woman who grew up in Oakland, attended Howard University?
She did not grow up in Oakland. She grew up in British Columbia. So let's not go with that crap.
And joined AKA sorority?
Whoopie the frig we. I don't care what sorority grade. Technically speaking, I'm not even for sororities.
And opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for 2 minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. Kind of aware that, Black Donald Trump, Rosa Parks, all these people took pictures with this racist man, but whatever.
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions, and then I don't know how we're going to leave this building today, because if you look outside, it is terrible, but we'll figure a way. There's always a way, and thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
I'm sorry, I call bullshit. That man just doesn't want to vote for
just like you.
For a woman. Obama wasn't speaking to all black men. He was speaking to that man and to the black men who have no problem with Trump selling cheap mugshots and $400 gold sneakers as black outreach. But when a black
I ain't gonna even answer that.
Black woman who spent her entire life around black people tries to get them to vote for her, it's considered pandering.
I tell you.
Again, she's not, just because her father was born in Jamaica, don't make her black. Her father is born from an Indian and Irish slave master. Oh, funny how that works, huh? Her mother is Indian. She's basically an Indian. That's what she is, and nothing's wrong with that. I don't care about her color of skin or her nationality. I care that she don't sound like an idiot, and also that again, with the whole killing my friend's husband and 2 kids, that's a roadblock for me.
You colors will find a way to F everything up and burn everything down to the ground in order to try to say that you're right and try to tell somebody what to do. You can barely take care of your daggone self. So I'm not really sure why it is that you think you're going to tell somebody else what the hell it is that they need to do just because it don't go along with what it is that you think that it is. Nowhere over here have I ever said that somebody should vote for anybody based on nothing. I have never said you need to vote for someone else. You need to have your head examined.
Neither have I. Again, you want to vote for Kamala? Go right ahead. You want to vote for Trump? Go right ahead. You want to vote for Libertarian, Donald Crest, Ginny? Go right ahead. That's your vote. That's your choice. That's what you're supposed to do. But I could tell you, I could say for me, who I'm not voting for is Kamala. I'm I'm telling you that I'm not.
You, nothing, never, no way, no how. We just out here, we talking about this shit and say, child, this one crazy, child, that one crazy, child, this one crazy. That's it. Make your own damn decisions. No, y'all come out here and be insulting. Y'all are sitting up here talking about the same people that you claim to care about and that you claim to love. Y'all can save all that and shove it down your daggone throat. As Coach Greg Adams says, you could kiss my entire ass and take all of Kamala and everybody else that thinks they're going to continue to insult us with you. Y'all are always willing and ready to burn shit down to the ground when it don't go your way. That's all in. That's Ricky, that's Roland, that's DL, that's Tiffany Cross, that's Angela Rye, that's all of y'all that think that you know everything. All these D9 boule people who ain't doing nothing but driving people away and won't accept responsibility for it. This ain't nobody's fault but yours, cowboy man. Obama at this point, Cam at this point, and the Democratic damn party, child. We can't even blame Joe at this point. When y'all lose, we do not care.
Just pointing that out. Just pointing that out. So, and I want to point out something before going to this last. I got one more thing to bring up. One more before we call it an end. All right. Like she talked about, this is unique. This is weird. And Ben, this is again Hollywood. I don't call it Hollywood anymore, Hollywood. Why would you say that? Again, you're insulting and you're pandering for the greatest reasons. Let's go with this. Let the Julian play this.
I'm sure a great guy. I don't know him. But white dudes for Kamala. Why can't it just be you are voting for Kamala? And then it's like, and she's black, and she's Indian, and she's a woman. All Jewish guys want to be black. And I thought, wait a minute, hold on. What? Wait, what are you doing? You're making it all about nothing about, like, she did a great job here. I love her policy there. I believe she can handle this well. Right. Gender, race, my gender and race, the whole video.
You know, it's going to be the first woman president. And that's incredibly exciting. And, you know, she's Indian, she's black, she's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. You know, I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black. Every white Jewish guy wishes.
Being it real.
Allow yourself to slowly get, you're freaking crazy!
Yeah, that's kind of weird to say that, but I digress. Here's another thing that I don't like. And I know a certain person is watching this. Shout out to a friend of the show, Anderson. And let me state this before he goes that route. Yes. And the lady said the black lady said the same thing too. If you're gonna go to college for a STEM program, something that you know you could make money off of. Not no basket weaving, not no gender studies, not no stupid thing that they put in was it the NY grads did, none of that nonsense. And we should not be. I wonder if I could find it. I wonder if I could find that. Let me see if I can. Let me go find that. Just to put up. I just want. I wonder if I could find. Oops, that ain't gonna work that day. Not New York. Let's put NYU. I wonder. Let's see. Is it this crap? No, it's not meltdown. NYU. It's not the film. I wonder when they say what they graduated from. I don't think I'll. Not a meme. That's not. No. just put grad. Let's see. I'm just doing this all. I think, yeah, this is it.
You gotta
Like I said before.
number one.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I think this is it. And if it is, yes. This is why I said a lot of people are getting stupider and stupider. Okay?
My name is Jacob, and my concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
My concentration. What the? Your major. What the frig is that bull crap?
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle.
What?
My concentration is creative direction, production, and narrative through the arts, performance, and written word.
Hi.
What the fuck?
My name is Karina Gummis, and my concentration is in journalism and Latin American studies, with an emphasis in human rights, collective memory, and political violence.
NANI? Hi, my name is Stephanie Lee, and I studied the sociology of environmental communication.
Hi, my name is Reed, and I study music business and gender studies.
Hi, my name is Dominique, and I studied care politics with a minor in disability studies.
No, son of a bitch!
My name is Elliot Wright, and my concentration is art as a social mechanism.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and my concentration is dramatic writing and theatrical adaptation.
My name is Noah Loyacano, and my concentration is equilibrium or negotiated paradox.
Hi.
Holy Jesus.
Hey, my name is Sophie Lopez, and my concentration is titled Queering and Decolonizing Theater Practice.
You serious?
Hi, my name is Maya, and my concentration is journalism, post-colonial studies, and psychoanalysis.
Hi, I'm Eloise. I'm graduating with a concentration in philosophy of science and theater.
My name is Amina, and my concentration is titled The Criminal Mind, which is surrounded on criminology and applied psychology.
Hi, my name is Juliana. My concentration is international business and fashion through sustainable development. Yay!
Motherfucker. That don't even make no goddamn sense.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
That kind of nonsense? No. Some of them was in there like that, but majority of that is they're gonna be broke. They're gonna be asking, can I have my loans forgiven even though you took a loan for something that's not gonna give you money? No. F you, and F the horse you're riding too. You should not get your loans forgiven. You willingly took out that loan. No. And again, to Kamala Harris, when she said about, oh, we're going to give loans to black people. You would give $100,000, $200,000 for social, whatever crap that some of these people say. But if a person, now you want to give, oh, we're going to give you $20,000 forgiveness. How about you just give people a grant to start a business? And if they make a successful business, you'll just pay $20,000. That's the way you should do it. But I read how she's going to do the grant. Oh, we're going to forgive. And they don't have, they're saying just make something. I'm like, you're basically throwing money after bad. It's BS. Okay? It's BS. So no. Okay? I can tell you, me and my wife have done this. When we get kids, we do not know at the point of what we're gonna do with our kids if we can put them in school or nothing yet. Okay? So I understand, calm the shit down. But I guarantee you, they will be reading proficiently because I'm going to be teaching them how to read. I'm going to be teaching them how to do math. And I'll definitely teach them how to do science. I'm going to do that shit myself. With or without the school, I'm going to do that. Because that's how I did. My mom didn't do stuff. But again, one of the great things my mom did when I was young, she gave me the Encyclopedia Britannica. And I was a book nerd. I was there reading all kind of stuff to learn stuff. That was me. That's how I am. Earlier in this show, I talked about how I learned to do mechanical stuff. Fix a vacuum, fix a fridge, fix all this stuff. It's because I have the inquiry and I have the curiosity to go fix these things. I am ignorant of a lot of things because ignorant just means not knowledgeable in the subject. But I will try to learn something, and if I can't do it, I can't do it because I am not a one all could do everything. But I will try my best to fix it and do it the right as best as I can. And I will teach my just like me and my sister used to read when she was young. I'm gonna do the same thing for my child. They're gonna read. They're gonna get math. I'm gonna teach them stuff. We're not giving them no cell phones. Me and my wife are on the same page. You ain't get no cell phone until you like in your teenage years. No, not at all. So, understanding that to go with this.
The state of U.S. education is such a mess that students are no longer required to read entire books. What's behind the dumbing down of Americans? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Billions upon billions of dollars are being pumped into the U.S. education system.
That's why I'm for taking the Department of Education. Buy. We don't need a federal one. Get it out. Take it down. We don't need it. Send them other people home. I don't care.
Yet, education in the U.S. is a complete disaster.
Correct.
Reading and math scores suddenly dropped to the lowest level in decades. For those of you currently being educated in U.S. schools, a decade is a period of 10 years, and 10 is a number that comes after 9, but before 11. In places like Baltimore, a complete disaster might be a little soft. According to 2022 data released by the Maryland State Department of Education, 23 Baltimore schools had 0 students proficient in math.
0.
Stop and think about it for a moment.
And that's another thing that killed me. A lot of the blue states, the crime is the highest. The schools are the most crappiest. They have the most homeless, and also the most illegals who do also the most crime. Imagine that.
Not even one student in 23 high schools was considered proficient in math. But things aren't much better in the rest of Baltimore schools either. Just 7% of 3rd through 8th graders tested proficient in math, which means 93% could not do math at grade level. Even in the district's 5 top performing high schools, only 11.4% of students were math proficient. Of course, it's not just math. In 2022, the nation's report card found that just 15% of Baltimore school children were testing at or above proficient in reading. This was despite the fact that Baltimore City schools had a $1.7 billion budget that same year, with $799 million coming from COVID relief funding. The writing is on the wall. Unfortunately, no one in Baltimore can read it. Baltimore isn't alone. Schools across the nation don't fare much better. Under half of Minnesota students are proficient in reading and writing.
Hey, Tim Walz, why don't you fix that instead of putting tampons in the boys' bathroom for a stupid reason?
While less than half of public school students in Oregon meet grade level standards in math, science, and English. And about 3/4 of Chicago public school students cannot read at grade level on the Illinois Assessment of Readiness in 2023. Nearly 80...
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that?
3% did not meet proficiency in math. Whereas in Detroit, just 5% of students were considered proficient, yet 99% of teachers in that district were considered effective. Well done.
That math don't work out, but again, that's how that works out.
Now I know it's easy to blame the pandemic for all this. Kids weren't allowed to even go to school in person, unless of course you were the child of a politician. But that's not the whole
Which is funny how that works, and I've talked about that in past shows.
Story. Even back in 2019, people have been raising the alarm about U.S. students lagging behind peers from around the world. According to the Director of Education and Skills at OECD, about 1/5 of American 15-year-olds scored so low on the PISA test, or Program for International Student Assessment, that it appeared they had not mastered reading skills expected of a 10-year-old.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Even the kids at Hogwarts got better reading scores. And I'm pretty sure they don't even teach reading or writing there. Just spells and try not to get murdered 101. Seriously, the school had a high casualty rate. Why did parents keep sending their kids there? Anyway, what's going on? Are kids not eating their morning Wheaties anymore? Well, the U.S. had been struggling with education quality for decades. But as you can see in this graph by the National Center for Education Statistics, overall, the U.S. had been improving student performance since the 1970s, especially from the 90s to 2010s. But then scores in math and reading nationwide stagnated. It was actually around 2015 that the U.S. started seeing scores slip across the board. So what happened around that time? Well, actually, the Brookings Institution points out that was the time period when all but a few states scheduled full implementation of Common Core standards.
Which was BS standards.
For those of you who don't know, Common Core is a set of education standards promoted by Obama and his administration.
Yes, so that's why that's why going back to Sam Obama in the first place, yeah. Hey, President Obama, again, didn't help nothing. Thank you for making our kids stupid, and that's what you want anyway. You politicians want dumb kids and dumb people, and so does corporations. They want dumb people so they could buy stuff. They'll just be buying and kept in debt for the rest of their lives.
No longer were states aiming to get low-achieving students to basic literacy and numeracy. Now the goal was to get everyone to college and career readiness. Because it's not like you need to understand words or numbers in college or at a job, right?
Exactly.
This has been a rare instance where many on both the left and right came together and criticized Common Core. One of the reasons is the way it lowered standards. Common Core pushed subjects like Algebra 1 into higher grades. It also did away with completing Algebra 2 and Geometry courses as prerequisites for being college ready. That's a weird angle to take on education, though I guess they wouldn't know since angles are taught in geometry and they didn't take it. After schools started implementing Common Core, states like California only saw modest increases in math and reading proficiency. Though even then, only half of California students met English standards and fewer met math standards. But in states like New York, things took a turn for the worst. 5 years after Common Core was implemented, New York high schools' failure rates spiked from 25% to 30%. Now, correlation doesn't automatically equal causation. But the fact that so few New York students have any idea what that means shows it just might. And according to the Pioneer Institute, a conservative Massachusetts-based think tank, there's been a historic drop in national reading and math scores since the adoption of Common Core curriculum standards. Since 2013, fourth grade reading scores have been falling by less than half of a point each year, while eighth grade scores have dropped nearly a full point a year. In addition to the scores taking a dive, the way students are taught to think has also radically shifted for the worst. Common Core encourages students to read short poems, short articles, and passage excerpts from longer works, but it doesn't require reading entire books. In fact, the National Council of Teachers of English wrote in a 2022 statement, the time has come to decenter book reading and essay writing as the pinnacles of English language arts education.
What the fuck? So instead of understanding how to learn to read a daggone book, that's why, what is it, Twitter? Like not Twitch, TikTok. Like that's why they got so much they got short fuses. They can't understand certain things. Seriously, what the hell is that?
They've essentially been doing what TikTok has been doing to the attention spans of teens before TikTok was even a thing.
Exactly.
But what does this mean in practice? Well, as The Atlantic puts it, where kids used to read and discuss whole books, they now get a few paragraphs at a time and then are prompted to answer a question. Reading has been distilled to practicing for a comprehension exam. So students are basically being trained to deal with short passages ripped apart from contexts and summaries handed down to them. Because who needs context? Sound bites, slogans, and headlines are all anyone needs to be informed. That's why American politics are so chill right now.
Exactly.
Proponents for Common Core say this approach helps improve analytical thinking, but critics say it does the opposite. This isn't just affecting K through 12. It also has downstream effects. Look no further than college students today. One professor at North Central College in Illinois wrote in online magazine Slate that now students are intimidated by anything over 10 pages and seem to walk away from readings of as little as 20 pages with no real understanding.
You serious?
We have shortened the brains of these kids that they can't read 10 to 20 pages. Holy crap.
Understanding. Even smart and motivated.
Like Aniston said in the chat, you're correct. Bring back physical books and teach them how to read damn physical books, not books off of the daggone tablets. Physical books.
Motivated students struggle to do more with written texts than extract decontextualized takeaways. To which college students responded, could you say that with fewer big words in it, please? These days, that professor has to spend a lot of class time just explaining what happened in a story and the basic steps of an argument, something he did not have to do in the past. And he's not the only one observing this. Many are seeing that students are coming to college less able and less willing to read. Not even elite schools like Columbia University are immune to this issue. You'd think that—
And you paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to Columbia. This is what even elite school got this BS.
that students in those kinds of schools would be able to handle the daunting challenge of reading an entire book. Turns out they can't. One literature humanities professor at Columbia University told The Atlantic that his students now seem bewildered by the thought of finishing multiple books a semester. His colleagues have noticed the same problem. Many students no longer arrive at college, even at highly selective elite colleges, prepared to read books. Future judges are going to throw the book at defendants because they'll be scared and don't want to read them.
Basically.
One student told the professor that she had never been required to read an entire book in school. She had been assigned excerpts, poetry, and news articles, but never a single book cover to cover. When he heard this, the professor's jaw dropped. Other professors from Princeton, University of Virginia, and Georgetown told The Atlantic similar experiences. What are pretentious people going to say in the future after watching a movie? The excerpt was better? So how are schools adapting to get students better prepared before college? Why, they're doing what any reasonable person in that situation would do. Lower standards by changing minimum scores, eliminating honors classes, and students now no longer have to prove proficiency in basic skills, all in the name of preventing harm to students of color. Because
that helps what? So that's, again, and who heads up this nonsense? A lot of white leftist women who want to make people stupid, and mostly black kids make them stupid.
nothing lifts people up more than lowering standards.
Exactly.
You know, I think there's a word for when you think people of color aren't smart enough to get through school without lowering standards for them.
I know.
But I just can't think of it.
Oh, I believe
that
you.
wasn't enough. Some colleges have even eliminated grades altogether. First, they weren't assigned books. Now they're not even being assigned letters. So after seeing all this, it makes sense that a vast majority of Americans believe public education is a disaster. They've seen the test results, and even though standards are being lowered across the board, things are still clearly headed in the wrong direction. So, what's the solution? Well, I certainly don't know. But I'm sure we can trust the government to come up with one.
I don't think.
After all, government involvement in school has so clearly helped.
Thank you for the sarcasm, and that is so flipping true. That's one of the reasons I've said that this nonsense, Kamala, you want to know what to do? As you said, as Tim Walz says, let's get a go. We don't need government in our lives of our women. Okay, I got a question. I got one thing. Take it further. I don't want government in the lives of my stuff as well too. Lives of men and children. Less government. That's what I want. Why don't you do that? Huh? Less government. That's what I want. But hey, it is what it is. So again, I want to thank everybody out here for jumping back with us. We have 40,750 people in the building. Again, this is worldwide. I didn't say that at the beginning, but I want to thank everybody for doing that. We are basically broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouNow, Nico with us in Japan, YouLive, Locals, Rumble, any place that you see this label at, you're in the right spot. Again, help us, comment, subscribe, share the word. Again, I'm happy and I thank you for all the well wishes. And like I said, I've seen in the comments, thank you all that I'm back. I'm good. And again, if you get a pain in your side, lower part, and it's a throbbing pain, get to the hospital as quick as you can. Because lucky for me, mine did not rupture, but I know people, if it ruptures, it's a lot more money, a lot more time, a lot more in the hospital. That said, again, I just wanted to bring up that part. Black men, you do what you gotta do. Again, I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for, but you do what you gotta do. If you don't want to vote for it, don't vote for it. But again, I'd rather you start a black party than give the Democrats what they need. Okay? I'm not a fan of Republicans, but I will be damned if I give anything to the Democrats. Be careful when you vote local. And I'll be honest with anybody. On a local level, there will be some Democrats I'm gonna vote because I go through my stuff and read and see if the issues line up with what it is. I'm not gonna say I'm against all Democrats. That would be stupid. But I'm not voting straight ticket. I'm going through what I can. Put some libertarians, like the last one, I'll put some libertarians in, some Republicans in, and some Democrats. Because I read up the issues, I see what I gotta do. That's me, all right? So, like I said at the beginning of the show, you are your own everything first. Don't wait for anybody else to do it. You are the person to do that. So, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, and then you have a strong community. Remember, I do not support evil at all. Evil. And evil comes in all shapes, size, color, height, nationality, sex, gender, parties, religion. Evil's evil. I don't stand for evil. I stand for good in those situations, but not evil. All right? Thank you guys for giving me your time, your mind, your eyes, your ears. Listen to what I gotta say. Again, share the content wherever you're watching this is on. Share the content, like, subscribe. And again, you want to catch out with my projectopenmic@gmail.com. Send emails there if you ever want to talk about stuff. I have no problem with that. That said, last but not least, we're going to be, like I said, I'm back. So Thursdays, I'm going to be back with doing that between Thursday and doing the Project Open Mic. Again, you go to YouTube and rumble.com to check any past shows. Spotify to check any past shows that we've done. This is episode 150. And also, check out the music that's shared by my fellow brother Kenoshi in music, as well as you're gonna be checking out. Me and my wife is gonna be doing a little video call coming from America, so check that out. We're gonna do a little podcast about that as well. So with that said, remember, people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual. Have a good night. Peace.